Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Let's Learn with JR. Since it's morning here, if you are watching this video at morning time, so good morning to you as well. Otherwise, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this video. Today's topic is related to literary theories. The first theory we are having, that is Russian formalism. And in this video, we will go through the definition of Russian formalism, short history, difference between Russian formalism and literary criticism, and who were those literary or Russian scholars. So let's get started. Definition with example. Russian formalism was a literary theory developed in the early 20th century. This question can be asked, then that what or when this theory was developed. So your answer should be it was developed in 20th century by a group of Russian scholars. Now, who were those Russian scholars? We will discuss those Russian scholars in the next slide. It focused on analyzing the formal aspects of literature, and the main focus of Russian formalism was they discussed formal aspects of literature such as language. Now, what were those formal aspects? The first one, that is language, structure, and literary devices, rather than considering the historical or social context. In Russian formalism, they don't focus on history or social context of any literary work, either that is poem, either that is drama, novel. They don't focus on that. They simply focus on the language, structure, and literary devices which are used in any literary work. For example, in poetry analysis, a formalist might focus on the rhythmic and phonetic qualities of a poem. As I said, they don't focus on history. They don't focus on social context. Their main focus is on rhythmic and phonetic qualities of any work, especially like poem, disregarding its historical or biological context. And they don't focus on the history or biography of any writer. Their main focus is language, structure, and literary devices. So I hope you got the definition of Russian formalism with example. Now, who were those Russian scholars? Viktor Shklovsky, he is often considered one of the founders of Russian formalism. Who is the founder? Viktor is the founder. So Viktor works such as his essay Art as Technique emphasize the importance of defamiliarization, making the familiar seem unfamiliar to enhance the artistic experience. So his main focus was defamiliarization. He emphasized on defamiliarization. What does making the familiar seem unfamiliar. The second one we are having, that is Roman Jakobson. All linguists and literary theorists, Jakobson contributed significantly to Russian formalism. He also contributed in this theory. He later became known for his work in the structural linguistics and semiotics. Now it's another topic that how much he worked in semantics especially, and the other structural linguistics. So we will discuss in the next videos about Roman Jakobson. But here you must know that Roman Jakobson, he had a huge role in Russian formalism with Viktor. Boris Ekonbim, another influential figure in Russian formalism, is Ekonbim focused on the study of narrative techniques and the evolution of literary forms. His works include How Google's Overcoat is Made. Okay, so this is the most important work of Boris. And you must remember these three names. These three names are enough. If you write in paper about these three, so it's enough. Now, there is a question. Sometimes in paper, this question can be asked, that what's the difference between Russian formalism and literary criticism? Russian formalism, as I said, their main focus is on language, structure, and the third we were having, that is literary devices. Okay, so language, structure, literary devices. They don't focus on the biography of writer, they don't focus on the history, they don't focus on the other social context. So what's the difference between Russian formalism and literary criticism? Russian formalism emphasized the intrinsic literary elements, detached from external influences like authorial intent or social context. And literary criticism focus is in a broader sense, essences and interprets literature considering various factors, including historical, cultural, or biographical context. It means they focus on history, they focus on culture, they focus on biography or biographical context. So I hope you got the difference between the Russian formalism and literary criticism. Okay, let's discuss it with examples. Russian formalism example. Analyzing the narrative structure of a short story without considering the author's biography of the societal context in which it was written. It's the most important example. It means if you want to analyze, if you want to analyze any short story, so what will you do? You don't need to focus on the biography of the writer, and you don't need to focus on the social context, that what was the societal context at that time when the story was written. You don't need to focus on that. You simply need to focus on the structure of the story, the language of the story. So this is the main point in Russian formalism. Now let's discuss the example of literary criticism. Critically examining a novel by considering the author's life experiences. Now remember, here we are discussing about the author, the life experiences of the author, the historical period in which it was written. We also discussed then that, for example, the story Nightingale. Now the Nightingale story, when it was written, okay, so we will focus on the, sorry, Nightingale is not a story, it's about, I think, a poem. But let's take the example of Pride and Prejudice. That's a novel. Now Pride and Prejudice, we will focus on that when it was written, what was the history, okay, and in which societal context it was written. So it is the main focus of the literary criticism. Means the word criticism itself says that it means you have to criticize that context, that societal context when it was written. And the author experiences we discussed, the historical period in which what was written and how it reflects or challenges societal norms. And we also discussed that how it reflects or challenges societal norms. In essence, Russian formalism is a specific type of literary theory that prioritizes the form of a literary work. It means we just discussed about the form of literary work in Russian formalism, while literary criticism encompasses a wider range of approaches considering both form and external contextual factors. So this was all about today's. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If this video has sparked your interest, I suggest you to like, share, comment, and do subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.